When we think of haunted locations, our minds often drift to creaky old houses or eerie cemeteries. Yet, one type of place that truly embodies the essence of fear and despair is often overlooked: prisons. Few locations have witnessed more suffering and death than these foreboding institutions. Prisons have etched their dark tales deeply into the fabric of American history, immortalized in classic films like Cool Hand Luke and Escape from Alcatraz, and haunting songs like Johnny Cash's Folsom Prison Blues and Bob Dylan's Hurricane. For those who endure the harrowing life behind bars, freedom is a bittersweet victory, leaving them forever branded as convicts, haunted by the shadows of their past. But for those who perished within those cold, stone walls, their restless spirits are said to linger, eternally bound to the place of their demise. One such place of perpetual torment is the old Charleston jail, located at 21 Magazine Street in Charleston, South Carolina. This prison, with its dark and gothic architecture, looks like something straight out of a Batman comic book. Since its establishment, the old Charleston jail has housed some of the most notorious criminals imaginable, including the infamous Lavinia Fisher, often credited as America's first female serial killer. Her tormented soul is just one of the many that are said to haunt these desolate grounds. Step inside the old Charleston jail, and you'll feel an unsettling chill in the air. The walls whisper tales of pain, suffering, and unfinished business. The spirits of those who met untimely deaths here wander the corridors, forever seeking justice or revenge. Join us as we delve into the spine-chilling history and ghostly legends of this haunted prison, where the past refuses to rest in peace. The history of the Old Charleston Jail. The Old Charleston Jail, or simply the Old Jail as locals call it, served as a prison from its construction in 1802 until 1939. The land it was built upon, a 4-acre lot set aside shortly after the city's founding, was designated for public use, housing not only the jail but also a poorhouse, a hospital, and a workhouse for slaves. Upon completion, the jail was an imposing 4-story structure crowned with an octagonal tower. Just over 50 years later, the jail underwent significant renovations, gaining an additional wing and adopting a Romanesque revival style, thanks to the architectural prowess of Charleston's own Louis J. Barbot and John H. Sale. However, the devastating earthquake of 1886 inflicted severe damage on the prison, necessitating the removal of many of the improvements made by Barbot and Sale. Despite these setbacks, the old Charleston jail remains a hauntingly significant landmark, with its dark history etched into its very walls. Join us as we explore the stories and secrets of this eerie institution. Inmates of the old Charleston jail. The old jail in Charleston housed some of the city's most notorious inmates, ranging from 19th-century pirates to Civil War prisoners of war. Among these, none are more infamous than Lavinia Fisher, often considered the country's first female serial killer. While she is recognized for this ominous distinction, it's important to note that she is the first to be formally acknowledged in this dark category. Join us as we delve into the chilling history of the old jail and its infamous residents. Lavinia Fisher. Little is known about Lavinia Fisher's early life, but it's believed she spent most of her years in America. What we do know for certain is that she married a man named John Fisher. Together, they became infamous following their arrest and conviction. There's ongoing debate about Lavinia's exact role in the murders, with some arguing she was merely an accessory. However, the prevailing belief is that she is not only a participant but a savage killer. Join us as we unravel the enigmatic and chilling tale of Lavinia Fisher. Murders at the 6 Mile Wayfarer House. Lavinia Fisher and her husband, John, owned the 6 Mile Wayfarer House, a Charleston inn named for its location 6 miles north of the city. In the early 19th century, they ran the inn amidst rumors and reports of guests mysteriously disappearing, which frequently reached the sheriff's office. Despite these complaints, no immediate action was taken due to the couple's popularity among locals. However, the Fishers' respectable status couldn't silence the dark rumors. Stories circulated about Lavinia inviting traveling businessmen to the inn for dinner, probing them about their professions to gauge their wealth. After dinner, Lavinia would serve the traveler tea laced with poison. Once the guests retired to their room, John would sneak in, stab the incapacitated traveler, steal their belongings, and dispose of the body. In another, more sensationalized version reminiscent of Sweeney Todd, Lavinia played a more direct role in the murders. She would serve tea that induced a deep sleep, then pull a lever causing the bed to collapse, sending the guest plummeting into a pit of spikes. The blend of fact and fiction surrounding the Fishers' activities at the 6-Mile Wayfarer house makes it difficult to discern the truth. However, some eyewitness accounts add a layer of credibility to these chilling tales. Join us as we delve into the macabre history of the Fishers and their infamous inn. Eyewitnesses. During the height of the Fishers' criminal activities, vigilantes from Charleston arrived to clean up the neighborhood. While the vigilante group was around, the Fishers managed to keep a low profile. Eventually, the group believed they had eradicated the crime and returned to the city, leaving behind one member to watch over the area, a young man named David Ross. The following morning, Ross was captured and brought before the gang. Terrified, he pleaded with Lavinia for help, only to be met with violence as she reportedly choked him and threw him headfirst through a window. Miraculously, Ross escaped and fled back to Charleston, where he alerted the authorities. Another survivor of the Fishers' deadly end was John Peoples. When Peoples stumbled upon the 6-Mile Wayfarer house, Lavinia initially told him there were no vacancies but invited him in for a cup of tea. Peoples, not fond of tea, discreetly poured it out when Lavinia wasn't looking. Believing he had consumed the tea, Lavinia began her routine of questioning him about his business and finances. After discovering his wealth, she suddenly informed him that a room was available. Although alarmed by the conversation, Peoples accepted the room but remained cautious. Instead of sleeping in the bed, he rested in a chair. During the night, he was jolted awake by the sound of the bed collapsing and saw the Fishers in action. He immediately jumped out of the window and made his way to Charleston to inform the authorities. With the testimonies of Ross and Peoples, the police finally had enough evidence to arrest the Fishers and their gang, bringing an end to their reign of terror. Join us as we uncover the final days of the Fishers and their notorious crimes. The Fishers' final days at the old jail. The Fishers were taken to the old Charleston jail to await trial. Both were sentenced to hang for their crimes. As the execution date approached, John sought penance with the help of Reverend Richard Furman. Lavinia, however, showed no interest in atoning for her sins. In his final moments, John pleaded for forgiveness, but Lavinia used her last minutes to mock the crowd gathered to witness her execution. Legend has it that she taunted them with the words, "If you have a message you want to send to hell, give it to me, and I'll carry it." After the execution, Lavinia was buried in the old jail cemetery. To this day, many claim that her ghost still haunts the old jail, with sightings reported by both locals and tourists alike. Join us as we explore the chilling legacy of Lavinia Fisher and the spectral tales that continue to surround the old Charleston jail. The ghost of the old Charleston jail. The old Charleston jail is believed to be haunted by the ghosts of inmates who perished within its walls. These lost souls, including murderers, pirates, wrongfully convicted individuals, prisoners of war, and slaves, linger and lurk around every corner. Today, the old jail is rife with paranormal activity. Visitors report objects moving on their own, disembodied voices, ghostly whispers emerging from thin air, and doors slamming shut without cause. These eerie occurrences are just a glimpse into the haunting presence that permeates this historic prison. Join us as we delve into the spine-chilling tales of the restless spirits that call the old Charleston jail their eternal home. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content. Have an amazing day, and thank you for watching.